and welcome to Noble Character Crafts. My name is Amy and I'm coming to you today from eastern Nebraska where I live with my husband and our 5 children. Today is Thursday, September 8th, 2022. A huge welcome to any new or returning viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. This is a channel all about my crafty life, and today I have knitting and crocheting to share with you all. You can find me online on Instagram and Etsy at Noble Character Crafts, and you can get in contact with me through my email at noblecharactercrafts@yahoo.com. I will have links to the places that you can find me in the description box below, as well as show notes for this episode. I'm hosting a year-long make-along on Instagram this year called the Make 9 2022 Mal, and that's for you to join in the Make 9 challenge, where you choose 9 projects that you would like to make this year and post a grid of those projects to Instagram, and then anytime you post a picture of your works in progress or any finished objects from your boards, you can include that hashtag and you will be eligible to win a prize, which I draw periodically throughout the year. I have a couple of prizes to give away today, thanks to Lindsay of Always Yarn First, who sent over lots and lots of yarn for me to gift to you all for this make-along earlier this year. So a couple more of the gifts that she sent over are going to be gifted today. The first of which is this beautiful hank of hedgehog fibers yarn, and this is the twist sock. The colorway is called Kimono, and it is on an 80-20 base, I believe. 80% blue face Leicester, 20% nylon fingering weight. And the winner of this beautiful hank of yarn is Stephanie at Stephanie C Knits. Congratulations to you, Stephanie. Please get in contact with me either through my email or through a message on Instagram would work as well. And let me know your full name and mailing address, and I'll be glad to get this off in the mail to you. And then the second hank of yarn that's going to be gifted today is by Destination Yarn. And this is on the postcard base, which is, again, fingering weight, 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. And this colorway is called Tide Pool. And the winner of this hank is Mandy. On Instagram is she's _handmade_by_Mandy_. So congratulations to you, Mandy. I will be glad to get this off in the mail to you as well. Please just message me with your mailing information and your full name. Congratulations to the both of you. I really appreciate you joining in the make-along, and again, everybody that has already joined in or would like to join in, it's never too late to join in, so please continue to join in the make-along if you would like. I really love seeing all of the projects that you all are working on this year. Most of you have been much better at working on your Make 9 boards than I have been, but that's okay. It's just for the fun of it, right? So anyway, continue to join in if you haven't yet. It's never too late to join in. I'd love to see what you would like to make this year as well. I have a few finished objects to share with you all, the first of which are a few headbands. We had some family friends visit us over the last weekend, and a few of their girls are knitters and they're wanting to learn to crochet, so I started to teach a few of them how to crochet. And one of the daughters brought over a bunch of books or pamphlets like this that she had in her collection. And this book is called Headwraps 10 Crochet Projects, and the author is Sharlee Dayne, and it has 10 head wrap patterns in it. Here's a few of them. And they have 4 girls in their family, and 2 of the girls, they went through this book and picked out patterns that they wanted, and since they're just learning to crochet, they didn't, I don't think, want to tackle these patterns yet, but they asked if I would be willing to make them a few of these headbands because they really liked how they looked. So 2 of the girls actually picked out the cover pattern, which is called One Perfect Rose. And so I made up the first headband here, and I just think it's so cute. So all of them are made in the same fashion, where they kind of have they get bigger in the middle and then they taper at each end, and then they have a little bit of just a chain for the tie that you would tie at the back of your neck. So you can kind of just put them around your head like this. So they're pretty cute. And they were super fast and easy to whip up. So I was happy to make these for their girls. So this first one, they're all made with worsted weight yarn, and they're all in acrylic yarns. So I had some wool yarn that I offered to the girls, but they thought that this would work better for them. It'd be easier to wash up and things. So anyway, this is the main yarn for this one is I Love This Yarn in the Sage Advice colorway. And then the beautiful rose. I just love how this rose is made. You make it in a strip, and then when you sew it, you kind of make a swirly pattern. You just kind of wrap it around itself in a spiral. And the leaves are made right along with it in the strip. So you make, I don't know how many petals, 7 petals altogether, and then 3 leaves. And it's just made in one long strip, and then you kind of spiral it together and sew it on itself. Anyway, the flower is made with Knit Picks Brava in the wine colorway, and then the leaves I used some Lion brand Heartfelt in the Kings Canyon colorway. But I really love how this one turned out. I think it looks so sophisticated. This is for the eldest daughter, so that is fitting that the most sophisticated one is for the eldest, I guess. And they were all made with an eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter. The next one is the same pattern, but this daughter picked out purple for her main color. And that again is Knit Picks Brava in the Mulberry colorway. The pink rose is so cute on here, but I don't know the name, the brand or anything. This yarn did not have a label on it. It was just gifted to me, and I didn't have a label for it. But the leaves are also Knit Picks Brava in the Avocado colorway. So it's the same as the other one I showed you. Then the next one is a different pattern. In here, it is called Oh the Frill. And this daughter picked out these colors. So the main color in this one is it's a Baby Bee Soft and Sleek Baby yarn in the Sea Foam Marled colorway. And then the flower is made with, the blue is another mystery yarn. It was just a little tiny scrap and it didn't have a label on it. But the Ivory colorway is I Love This Yarn, again in the Ivory colorway. So this one turned out a bit wider than the other two, but the pattern was really, really simple for this one. It has some puff stitches in there, and it was really easy to make this one up. It was very quick. A little more simple than the first pattern. The first pattern I had to really kind of concentrate on what I was doing. The pattern wasn't as easily memorizable as this one. But again, just really a cute pattern, I think. I think they're really sweet. They'll be cute on their girls. And then I made one last one for their smallest girl, who's only 3. So, in this book, each of the head wraps comes with either a girl's size or a teen size. For the littlest girl, I made the girl's size. And here it is. This is another pattern, and it is called Simply Fun. Here's a picture of it. And I again use that mystery pink yarn for the main body on this one. This was another very, very simple pattern to follow. And for the flower, I used the Knit Picks Avocado Brava brand, Knit Picks Brava in the Avocado colorway. Again, that pink, and the I Love This Yarn in the Ivory. So that one was really, really fast to work up. It's such an open stitch, and it was smaller in size, so it was really easy to work up. But I just thought those were really fun to make for them, and I'm excited to gift these to those girls next time we get together. I made a pair of Scrappy Socks for my good friend Tina for her birthday, and I've kept these a surprise from her, which was, you know, I had to make sure I didn't put anything on Instagram or here on my videos because she always watches everything. So I wanted to, her birthday is coming up very soon. We're going to get together, maybe even today, I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to get together very soon. And I wanted to make her a pair of hand knit socks because I have made her several pairs and she is always so appreciative of them. Last year, I think for her birthday, I had made her a pair of Scrappy Socks similar to these, and I used a bunch of fall colors. And this year I thought it would be fun to do another pair of Scrappy Socks for her. So I pulled a bunch of teals and blues and creams, as you can see. And I really love how these worked up. So for the cuff, I did something a little bit different. I don't remember what I did. I know it's different, but now I forget what it was. Okay, I did, for the cuff, I cast on 60 stitches, which I don't know if I've made a pair of socks for Tina using a 60 stitch count, but she wears the same size shoe as I do, and her feet are, I think, pretty narrow. And so I think that these will probably fit her just fine because they fit me. So I, again, cast on 60 stitches. I used a US 0 2mm needles. And for the cuff, I did knit one through the back loop, then purl one, and repeated those 3 stitches. So knit one through the back loop, and then purl one. And I just repeated that. I used a really dark yarn for that cuff, so you can't see it very well anyway. I'm not sure if it was very effective. I don't think it was. I thought maybe you would give it some cool texture, but I can't really tell much of a difference with it. Anyway, that top color is nearly black. I've used it many times before. If you've watched before, you might remember, but this is Knit Picks Stroll in the Midnight Heather colorway. Anyway, I won't go through all of these different colors, but there's several in here. There's a few that I've dyed myself. There's some commercial yarns in here. There's some other hand-dyed yarns in here. But I just really love how they worked up. I was able to do 10 rounds for each stripe, and I did a heel flap, slip stitch heel flap for the heels. And yeah, I did 7 stripes for the leg and 8 stripes for the foot, rounded toe, and Kitchener the toes together. So I just love how these turned out, and I'm sure that Tina will love them too, so I'm excited to gift them to her for her birthday. On to my works in progress. My first work in progress is being held in this cute sock sack that I was gifted in a swap several years ago, and I also put on here this cute little sock pin that goes so well with this project bag, and this was gifted to me from Emma of Potter and Bloom in our Christmas Advent swap that we did last year. And in here is a pair of socks that I am working on. Last time I recorded an episode, this was my only work in progress, and I haven't made a ton of progress on these, really, considering the amount of time it's been since I recorded last, because I've been working on my other works in progress more often, but I have made a little bit of progress on these. So last time I recorded, I was still on the cuff of these socks, and now I have added several stripes, and I really like how these are coming along. So for these are going to be for me, and they are, I cast on 60 stitches for the cuffs using US 0 2mm needles, and I did 2x1 ribbing for 20 rounds. The yarn that I used for the cuffs is by Sweet Mountain Crafts in the Summer Snow Cone colorway. And then for the main body, I'm using Knit Picks Felici in the Golden Hour colorway. Both of these yarns are fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. For the main body, I'm just doing plain stockinette, except for when I switch, when the yarn switches colors. I'm doing one round of slip one, knit one, and when the yarn first changes color, so that I get a bit of this fun transition between each stripe. I really like the way that that looks. Although it was really difficult to tell the color change between this pink and the red color. It was really hard. I was like having to study the yarn to tell where does this color change, because it was such a subtle transition. But I think it worked okay. Anyway, I'm really enjoying working these up. They're so easy and fun. So they're really my only project that I have that's completely mindless. One of my other whips at times can be mindless, but this one is working out really well to just have on the go. So I'm really enjoying those. And last time I recorded, I shared with you all that I was planning on making several prayer shawls for my husband's extended family. One of his cousins passed away recently, and I wanted to make some prayer shawls for the women in his family, for his mom and his two sisters. So I shared with you all the patterns that I was planning on starting, and I actually cast on all 3 of those prayer shawls the same day that I recorded last. And I've been working on all 3 of them. I've tried to keep it, work on all 3 of them consecutively so that I can, just continue working on all 3 of them at once. That's my idea anyway. The first one I am holding in this project bag that I made myself. It's got a fall theme to it. And this is the Void Shawl by Melanie Berg. The yarn that I'm using for all of these is on the same base, just different colorways for each shawl. This is Knit Picks Swish worsted weight, and this is in the Garnet Heather colorway. These are 100% fine superwash merino wool. And this one is working up, I'm really enjoying all 3 of these shawls. I have chosen a Bible verse to focus on for each of these shawls for each of the women. So for this shawl, this is for the mom of the family. And for this one, I've chosen Psalm 34:18, which says, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." So I've just been focusing on that verse as I've been knitting on this and praying that over her, for her, and I just pray that this would be a source of comfort for her once I'm able to gift it to her. It's really just such a beautiful textured pattern, very, very easy. These are just, I think maybe they're called mock cables or something like that. It's not actually a cable. You just twist the stitches in a certain way to get them to make this pattern. I just think it's so beautiful. Really, really easy to follow. I mean, I do have to keep my eye on the pattern because I think it's an 8-row repeat, and I have to, focus on what I'm doing each row. As you can see, I've put in stitch markers for each pattern repeat so I can keep track of where I'm at. That makes it so much easier. Although with this pattern, I do have to switch the stitch markers every 8th row. Whenever I do a pattern repeat, I have to replace the stitch markers, so that's kind of a pain, but it's not too bad. But the pattern switches, shifts every time you do a pattern repeat. I am using the recommended needles. These are size 7 4.5 millimeter needles, and all of the needles that I use are Chowgu red lace. But this one is just really such a beautiful pattern. I love the texture of it. So it's coming along well. The next one, actually I'm holding all 3 of these shawls in project bags that I made myself. This one I also made myself. And I am making the Hipster shawl for the next. This one is for another sister in the family. And the Bible verse I've chosen for this one is Psalm 46:1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. And This one I am using the Dove Heather colorway in the Swish worsted weight, and it's coming along really well. So this is probably the easiest of the 3 patterns. There are some sections that I have to concentrate on, but there's quite a bit of garter, as you can see, and those sections are really, really easy, and it doesn't take too much concentration. But this one is really looking great too. It's so fun. I was nervous about, I don't know why, but whenever I saw this shawl, I was always like, oh, those cross stitches look like they'd be really tricky, but they're not terrible at all. They're really well explained and not too hard to do. There's a bit of a texture in this section in between the 2 X pattern sections, and that's what I'm in right now, as well as in a textured section. And that I kind of need to concentrate a little bit more on that, just because it's a syncopated pattern and I can't really read where I'm at. I've really got to concentrate on where I'm at in the pattern, but it doesn't go on for too long. And then I assume, I'm not terrible at looking ahead in a pattern, but I assume I'll do another X pattern and then go on to some more garter stitch. Assuming it'll just repeat that pattern. But really an enjoyable pattern to work on as well. Again, using the recommended needles, this is on US 8 5mm needles. So I'm loving this one as well. And the last one is being held in one of my larger project bags, which you guys, well, many of you, well, a few of you, I didn't make very many of these large bags in my last shop update, but the ones that I did make sold out so super quickly. So in my next shop update, I'll be sure to make some more of these large project bags. By the way, I do still have a few of the small and medium-sized project bags available in my Etsy shop. If you're interested in checking out my Etsy shop, I will link it down below. From my last update, I had quite well, the biggest update I've ever had in my last shop update. So I'm happy that there are still a few project bags available if you are interested. Anyway, the last shawl that I am working on is from this book called Wood Smoke Cable Collection. It's a Knit Picks publication. And I am making the Laura shawl, just pictured here. I'm not planning on adding the tassels to the shawl or the fringe, however. And I am using the Nutmeg Heather colorway for this shawl, which is a really pretty neutral. And this one I've worked on the most because it is the biggest shawl of the 3. So I haven't put an equal amount of time into each shawl. I'm trying to work on them according to how big they are, I guess. So I've worked on this one the most because I want to try to get them all done around the same time. That's kind of my goal. The Bible verse for this one is Psalm 23, verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And this one, I've really enjoyed this one as well. It's just so much fun to work up these cables. So I've made some good progress on this one, but I still have a long ways to go. I'm not even halfway done with this yet. I think I'm about to finish the 5th repeat. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. And I need to do 14 total repeats. So I still have 9 more to go. But it's so gorgeous, isn't it? I just think the cable work is so beautiful in this pattern. I am enjoying it a lot. I haven't done a cabled project in a long time, it doesn't seem like. So anyway, I've just really enjoyed working this up, and it's just so satisfying to see those cables come together. So pretty. I love it. So those are all of my works in progress that I have to share with you all today. I feel like this was a pretty quick episode. I hope that you all enjoyed watching it though, and I hope that you all are doing really well. We have been doing great, and everybody is happy and healthy around here. our chickens that we got back, and we got some chicks back in May. If you've watched for a while, you may remember that. And our chickens have just started laying their first eggs, so that's been really, really exciting. And our little kittens are doing well. Our dog is doing well, though she is getting so huge, and you know, she's still a puppy, so she's huge and super energetic. So she's quite a handful at times, but we're doing really well. And yeah, I'm so enjoying the cooler weather that we've had. We still have a lot of warm days as well, but I'm so looking forward to the cooler temperatures as autumn is approaching. I hope you all are doing really well. Thanks again so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you would like. I would appreciate that so much. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.